I have a harsh truth. Most people look at their lives and see a jam-packed schedule with no time or room for rest. But it will take an extremely self-aware, okay with being vulnerable individual to accept and resonate with what I'm about to tell you. You do have time for intentional rest. You just do. The issue is you're unable to acknowledge and be aware of when you're actually resting, because most of our so-called rest is done on autopilot. And for the purpose of this video, that is an extremely important distinction to make. The difference between intentional and unintentional rest. Because most people subconsciously make time for unintentional rest and then say that they don't have time for intentional rest. When rest is unintentional, it most often includes activities like doom scrolling or plopping onto the couch and mindlessly watching TV. Activities that we think are restful but are mostly just tiring. We often lose ourselves in these repetitive, mindless activities because the action of scrolling is so intensely done on autopilot that we don't realize it's our body's attempt at trying to get some rest. So then we look back on our week and we think we didn't have any time for rest, or we just don't feel the benefits of the rest that we do have. Even further, we tend to abuse moments of unintentional rest. We set out to only scroll on our phone for a couple of minutes and it quickly turns into a couple of hours. But as you probably have noticed, these activities are emotionally draining. They are not intentional rest. And because these activities are most often unintentional, it doesn't feel like we're getting any rest at all. You tend to fall into those restful patterns like scrolling on your phone or watching TV subconsciously. Like I said, what happens is you end up coming out of those periods of rest not feeling recharged, which ultimately causes you to fall back into the mind-numbing cycle of doom scroll, watch TV, repeat. But really, we should be carving out time for intentional rest. Looking at my own life, this distinction between intentional and unintentional rest gave me a profound realization. In order to truly experience restful rest, there is another important distinction that we have to make. That is relaxation that's a side effect from feeling exhaustion, burnout, and stress, and relaxation that you actually want to partake in, that you make a conscious decision to take part in. Rest that is intentional, actually stress relieving, re-energizing, and actually fills our cup. Once you become aware of this distinction, you'll realize all of the time you spend doing the former kind of rest, the unintentional rest. You'll start to see how you can replace those times with rest that is actually restful. Rest that isn't merely done as an attempt to numb your brain. Because truthfully, speaking from experience, that will not feel restful at all. And you'll end up wondering why you have no time for real rest. And I want to make a quick side note. Someone once left a comment on my video saying that we're all doing the best we can within a system that is not optimized for our health and our well-being and our rest. And I completely agree. I don't want this to make it seem like it's on you guys. It's not your fault that you're gravitated towards this unintentional rest. I mean, phones are programmed to make us keep scrolling. But I'm trying to remind you of the control that we do have. And I'm trying to remind you to try and take back as much control as you can within the limits of the society that we're facing. But I just want to be explicitly clear that you are not the problem. The society is the problem. But we have to find a way to work best within that society, unfortunately, until one day we can change. That all being said, in no way do I want to discredit those in worse situations than mine. I hope this video highlights how maybe just one round of intentional breathing is enough rest. You don't need much more than that a couple times throughout your day. Like always, I hope you're able to find the littlest of takeaways from this video, given the lifestyle that you live and the conditions that you face. And in addition, I encourage and actually ask you to leave a comment on how this advice can become more applicable and approachable to a wider audience. Always, modifications of any of this advice is okay. You're doing something you can do, and that is something you should be proud of. And thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I'll catch you on the flippity flop.